You probably have either experienced yourself or seen someone else. Wow, this plucking sounds rich and full, very nice. Or, oh no, there's no sound at all, why do we have to do it? Firstly, where on the string should we pizz best? Best sound, easy to play. To start with, the bow area is covered with rosin. You can see, it's white. Never pluck there. What the rosin does is, the string by itself would not make much sound without rosin. And the rosin is a kind of glue, and it sticks there. And it doesn't work well with the natural oils of our fingers. So if you pluck there, and afterwards you play with the bow, it might not sound at all. So never pluck there. It doesn't sound well either. The best area is about here, a bit before the end of the fingerboard. The strings here have a good gap, so we can access them well. The area is also comparable to where guitar sounds best, the instrument with the best expertise for plucking. I just show it. So I get a guitar. They are a little bit shorter, like the cello measure is 69 centimeters, this is 66. Not much difference. So if you have a look and have the bridge about there, this area, it sounds on the guitar not well either. Guitarists pluck about here. And that is about this area, it is the same. They don't pluck here where we don't pluck either. So where the rosin stops, let's say 2-3 centimeters off the fingerboard, that's the best area where we can pluck. An exception is when we play whole chords, like all 4 strings. Then we go better to the middle of the string. They're here closer together and the fingers don't get stuck, what we want here. We want control of each finger. But here, we don't want to get stuck in between. We want that they sound together. And I choose as an example Yesterday, the Beatles song. Yesterday. And with which finger should we pluck? Most cellists are not used to it, but we can produce the best sound when we pluck the string with the thumb. You might notice I do that usually. I rest a finger or two on the side of the fingerboard, and then I play the thumb and have a control where it is, like it's not from mid-air, because it doesn't work very well. So it sounds very nice. If you want it very strong, you can use what is called appaiando or rest stroke. It comes from the guitar. And you lean against it. It sounds very full, because when the thumb rests against another string, the string vibrates exactly horizontal to the bridge. And at the same direction as when we play with the bow. With the bow we don't have an option, we can't play in between. But with the fingers we could pluck, but it hardly sounds at all compared to this full sound. Just to the arm, usually we hold the bow like this and people start plucking like this. But you need to go with the elbow low and pluck with the thumb more or less up. Like. So you need to practice it, you need to get used to it. And if you find it uncomfortable or you don't have the time to play against the next string, you can glide along. And it sounds very nice as well. And now to the question, how do we do it best when we need to hold the bow plus need to pluck? Often we don't have the luxury of time to get into a position where we can put the bow away or even can't even switch fast enough to use the thumb. So first, when there's virtually no time to switch at all, we hold the bow usually with all 4 fingers on the bow, the thumb on the other side. That's just what we do. The finger to take off without losing the grip is the middle finger. In fact, also the ring finger, but with most people the ring finger is clumsy. With most people the ring finger is also the longest, which is another advantage. That means if you don't have time to swap over into a different grip, we best pluck with the middle finger in the best area, like this. So we can quickly swap, because with the bow in our hand we don't need to put it aside, and we just point this finger out and we can pluck. But holding the bow by its usual grip is also a disadvantage. It is harder to diversify the dynamic at the same time as being cautious of the bow. Because without any caution, the bow actually, if you're not careful, it can hit the cello. So our next option includes putting the bow sort of in the fist to free up our fingers for plucking. So when we have your bow, we put the finger in a fist and then we stretch the pointer finger out and we can pluck. And the bow does not point in the usual direction, it points up here. So get used to that the bow looks different. And as I said, many pluck with the pointer finger. It seems reasonable. But then it sounds plucky. The string vibrates the wrong way, vertical. You might even bash the string onto the fingerboard when you're not careful when it comes for forte. And it bashes on the fingerboard and it sounds terrible. With the thumb, as I mentioned, we have arm power and more space. And make sure the elbow is low. And it sounds really nice. And now about practicing the changeover. The main thing is, do not rush. If you rush, we will use extra movements, fast ones and uncontrolled ones, which are often too large, too many, confusing, and many drop the bow. And when you're on a tiled floor and drop the bow and drops on the tip can just break off. So practice slow, as relaxed and efficient as possible. And it will speed up naturally and will be faster than any rushed action. Like when you put it in. It doesn't take too long, so you learn to fold it in, fingers around and the thumb sticking out. And when you fold it back and put early enough the thumb in that the bow doesn't drop. Fold it in, thumb out, thumb on again, then extend and play with the bow. And practice it that slow. Once you get used to it, it comes quite quick. And I don't rush, never rush it. If you would need to rush, use the middle finger, but don't rush. And now last, to pizzing harmonics. Many think you can't pluck harmonics. It's dull. And it comes from the perception that when we hold a note, if you let go, it stops. But even harmonics, if we don't change the bow speed, they stay actually. Because we don't stop the string. And you can see it if you try on the C string, that this part vibrates and this part. And when you push a bit, it gets dull. So don't push, just touch. So if we just touch, comes a harmonic. But if we play it with the bow we permanently reinforce the string, so the sound continues. But with plucking, we only enforce the string once. So if you leave the finger there, it gets dull. So as soon as you pluck, take the finger away. And it sounds very nice. So it's like you can feel when the buzz comes when you pluck, and straight away jump away. And that's how you play harmonics. And I wish you happy plucking, and see you next time.